Hi, my name is Emeka Nobis. I want to tell you a little bit about my story. It was in 2010 that I decided to write a book. I wrote the manuscript and I sent it to the company in US, a company that I loved to publish for me. They wrote back to me to tell me that they don't publish for Africans, especially Nigerians, and I should reach out to their sister company in Italy. I did so, and after a few days, the company wrote me back to tell me specifically, I can never forget, that I was an economic risk to them. But they mentioned the name of a very popular particular pastor here in the city of Port Harcourt where I live. His name is Pastor David Ibiome. And they said to me that they published Pastor David Ibiome and that I should go check him out. Of course I knew. Pastor David Ibiome is a very popular man, he's influential, and he's got a lot of followership. And to them, it was an economic advantage to publish for him. What I learned from that particular experience was the fact that I needed to be popular, I needed to be influential, I needed to be known so that I would not longer be an economic risk. And that's the journey I've been taking ever since 2010, growing my fame, growing my influence, growing my popularity. And I tell you, a lot of things have happened for me as a result of that. I've become brand ambassador of companies. I'm currently being published by a company at no cost to me. All I do is to write, they take care of all the processes, and all I do is just to market, and they do every other thing. The things have really changed for me, and that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. That is why I'm showing other individuals how they themselves can build for themselves a massive social media audience that makes money for them. I'm not saying that you have to open up people's pockets and take away money from them, but by the reason of the things that you'll be doing, you are growing a massive social media following that can make money for you. And that's why I'm putting together these trainings. In a series of trainings that I'll be watching, you will learn from me what to do to build a massive social media following, an audience that gives you money, if not on a daily basis, but regularly. So I want you to stick around. These are bite-sized videos. Just watch every one of them, take your notes, and practice. Most importantly, practice, and you see the results for yourself. I look forward to you truly doing amazing things. My name is Emeka Nobis. Stick around, watch these videos, and practice them. Ciao. So I just want you to imagine this scenario. Let's say that your brother or your sister, and I'm not saying this is real, this is just purely hypothetical. Let's say that your brother or your sister has a heart issue or a heart condition, and you are looking out for a doctor that's going to solve the problem. Let's say you have two doctors that you have as options, and so you go to see Dr. A, and Dr. A tells you that on Monday he's in his clinic and is attending to those who are patients. But on Tuesday he goes to play golf, and then on Wednesday he goes to church where he pastors and he preaches. And then on Thursday he has this other association that they gather together to play a band. And then on Friday he travels to go to see his other wife in another city and attend to his other children in another city. And then on Saturday, he goes out to attend to prospects in his real estate business. Dr. A. And then you meet Dr. B, and Dr. B tells you that he's all about attending to people who have heart issues 24/7. 7 days a week, every day he's in his clinic attending to those who have heart issues. Tell me, which of these two doctors will you choose to be your brother or your sister's doctor? I'm sure that you're already thinking that it should be what? Dr. B. If he's not Dr. B, then I don't know who else. And this is how a lot of us on social media project ourselves. We project ourselves as Dr. A. I mean, we do a lot of things people don't even know specifically what we should be about. For you to become that individual that will grow a massive social media following, an audience that will give you money, you should become what I call a meaningful specific. People need to understand specifically what you're about so that they can have you at the top of the mind. It's very important. Many of us are what I call wandering generals. They are all over the place. Nobody knows what they do specifically, because when people gather together and they are thinking about you, what really comes to the top of their minds? This is critically important. So you must be known for something meaningful, something specific, something that individuals can beat their chest and say, this is what he does, and this is what he's good at. So I'm going to share with you just 3 things that you should be paying attention to for you to be able to recognize that specific thing that you should be all about. Number 1 is, what is that human cause that you are attracted to? What is the human cause that you are attracted to? A friend of mine became a lawyer just because she loves to help individuals to obtain justice. She hates injustice from the depth of her being. And that is a human cause that she is attracted to. So what's the human cause that you're attracted to? The second thing is, what is that thing that you do so well that other individuals find it so difficult to do? For example, me, I write every day. I write so well. I can write 300 words in less than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But a lot of my friends find it so difficult to even come up with a few words in a few minutes. That's because it comes so natural to me. So what is that thing that you do so much with ease that others find it difficult to do? The final point I want to share is, what is that thing that you find yourself teaching? You find it so easy to teach other individuals, especially when you see people who are running into error. So you come up, you teach them because you don't want them to run into error. What is that thing? Now, if you think about these 3 questions and have some moments of reflection, introspection, you will find answers to these 3 questions, and there will be a pointer to what it is that you should be known for specifically. So this is my directive to you as you're watching this video now, this particular model, is to please take your time, get your jotter, and rewind this video again, watch it from the beginning so that you understand these questions critically and begin to find answers to them. The meaning of your life will come from the answers that you give these questions. Go do it now. A time came when I wanted to sell a product of mine that was just 1,000 naira, and I was looking out for an influencer that could market or promote the product on his or her timeline. And so I found one, a supposed influencer, and I had a conversation with her to promote the product to her. Then she had about 60,000 followers on Facebook, and we agreed. I paid and made a payment, and then she went ahead to promote. Would you believe that I didn't make one sale? 1,000 naira product, just less than $2. Not one single sale from her more than 50,000 followers. I realized after a while, when I did a review, that the kinds of people who are following her on her timeline were the kinds of individuals who love stories that we call tatafo stories, breaking news of who is sleeping with whose wife or whose boxers is being shown to the public. I mean, those kinds of individuals who are looking for those kinds of gist. And so my product, which was purely intellectual, did not appeal to her audience. For you to be able to build a great social media audience that gives you money, you need to be able to accept for yourself the kinds of people that you want to follow you. For me, I want individuals who are thirsty for intellectual exploits to follow me. I want individuals who love clean humor to follow me. I want individuals who can argue intelligently when placed with facts. So you have to decide for yourself. Make your choice and decide for yourself, what kind of audience, what kind of people do I want to be part of my social media audience? Do you want individuals who just love stuff, the mundane stuff? Or do you want individuals who are connected to you because they love knowledge? It all depends on you. Whatever choice you decide is all on you. For me, I've made my choice. I want individuals who are thirsty for knowledge, individuals who have the appetite for great intellectual engagement to be the individuals that follow me on my social media timeline. So it's your decision to make. Decide for yourself today and then follow through. I live in the city of Port Harcourt in the state called Rivers State in Nigeria. And so one of those days I was traveling to the city of Owerri, which is a neighboring state to Rivers State. And that was in 2019 during the heat of the elections. And on my way, I saw a billboard, and on that billboard, there was just one thing on it, a cap. And beneath it was written who the cap fits. And when I looked at that, there was no name of the political aspirant, but I knew who they were talking about. A man called Emeka Ihedioha, who was then in the Senate. He had a way of wearing one kind of cap that people knew him for, a green cap shaped in certain way. And so they just put it on the billboard. He was contesting for the position of the governor of the state, and they just put that on the billboard, who the cap fits. Immediately you see it, you will understand that it was a making Hideo that was being talked about. And that brings me to the subject of symbolisms. When you see the Apple product, they have this logo of an apple that is beaten. It's not just about the logo itself, it's about the connection that people have with the Apple product. It's the connection that people have with whatever Apple product that you see in the market. It's an emotional connection to the product itself, to the brand itself. And so, if you are to become one individual that will grow a massive social media following, you need to think about symbolisms. For me, I call myself the Don. And so I was thinking, what could be my symbolism? And I began to think about the Italian mafia and how the Italian mafia, they hold cigars and they wear long coats and they wear hats on their heads. I decided to wear a hat for myself. The beautiful thing about it now is that when people want to host me in their conferences or in their summits, and they do this thing where they put the silhouette of the speakers and put them out on social media and ask people to say who was on the flyer, and people just mention my name just because they see me wearing a hat. Symbolisms are very, very important. It creates that room for people to connect with your brand emotionally. So what will your symbolism be? It could be your logo, it could be what you're wearing, it could be the words that you use, but think about it. It's critically important in growing your social media following. Think about it. I have an addiction, and I want you to also have the same addiction. There's this addiction I have for numbers. I want people to know who Emeka Nnobisi is on a daily basis. I want at least 5 individuals to know my name and to follow me and be part of my community on social media. That is the same addiction that you have. Every day that you rise, check the metric. Check how many individuals are part of your community. I mean, take a look at Coca-Cola. It's one of the biggest companies in the world. These guys are never satisfied with the numbers that they have. They're consistently promoting, they're consistently advertising, they're consistently conscripting individuals into the community of drinkers of Coca-Cola. So for you, if you're going to grow a massive social media community that pays you, then becoming addicted to the numbers is critically important. Every day, make it a duty. Have conversations with individuals. Enter people's inboxes. Be part of growing social media communities. Have conversations even on the street and get individuals knowing who you are and becoming part of a community. This will pay you in the long run. Make that addiction a part of your life today. I don't know if you go to church, but even if you don't go to church, I know that you must have heard about churches or about mosques. People who go to church, they are fed in the church. So you join a church, you start to learn about the dogmas, about their doctrines, about their way of living, and most importantly, the words from the Holy Book, either the Bible or the Quran. It is called feeding the flock. And as the flock is being fed, they go to tell other individuals about being fed in the church so that other people can also be coming into the church to also be fed. Now, for you to grow a great community, you must feed your community. You cannot grow a massive social media audience if you're not feeding them. Feeding is what we call content creation. So you've got to be able to create content that your social media audience will be feeding from. You're sharing objectives, you're sharing perspectives, you're sharing ideologies. Content is raw information that has been packaged in a strategic manner to be able to elicit new ways of thinking, inspire new narratives, and to trigger result-oriented action. That is in a nutshell what content is all about. So I know by now that you understand that what feeds social media is founded upon content. So you've got to be creating content to feed your flock, and in this way you grow a massive social media audience that will give you their money. So think about it. Understand that content is necessary. You have to feed your audience, and it's by feeding your audience that you make them to connect with you emotionally, you make them to tell others about you, and you elicit what we call reciprocity. So by the time you keep giving to someone, you're making the individual become indebted to you in a way and will want to give you money. So this is how it works. You've got to be able to create content to feed your audience. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the types of content that I create that builds my social media audience. Number one is inspirational content. You've got to be able to inspire people to do amazing stuff. And that is where I share about my life, about my results, about the things that I do. So every day that I wake up, people need to wake up to the point where they're inspired to go about their day and to meet their goals. So inspiration is one thing that you need to do if you're going to grow your social media audience. The second type of content is educational content. And this is where I teach. I teach the things I know. I teach the experiences that I've gotten. I teach individuals my processes, my ideas, my systems. Teaching individuals, it's enlightenment. The more that you teach individuals, the more that they come to depend on you for knowledge and for answers to the problems of their lives. And it's by this dependence that they will come to crown you God. Not literally, but I know you understand what I mean. You become a problem solver in their lives. The third type of content that you should be creating is funny content. So understand that social media is all about socials. It's all about socials. And so if you're always here and you're always so serious with life, everything about you is all about seriousness, then I'm not thinking that you're a human. So you've got to be able to become humorous. Share the humorous sides of your life, the things that are happening to you that you crack jokes about. This doesn't mean that you should become a comedian, but you can actually create some form of humorous content just by sharing about the funny things that happen in your life. It is critically important for you to understand that. The fourth type of content that I want to share with you that you ought to be sharing with your social media audience is about the things that are motivational. So inspiration and motivational are two different things, but you've got to be able to share content that motivates your audience strategically. By that I mean sharing with them your results, sharing with them your processes, sharing with them the things that have worked for you, so that they can also go on that journey of getting their own results. Not the kind of results you may have gotten, but by getting their own results in their own unique lives. So social media content creation is dependent on these four types of content. And if you rise on a daily basis and mix them by sharing on inspiration, motivation, strategic content that has to do with humor and enlightenment, trust me, your social media audience will keep growing. They keep attracting other individuals to you, and you're on your way to building tremendous wealth. Sharing content on your social media channels will do two things for you, two major things for you. The first thing it does is that it establishes you as an expert. So think about two medical doctors. One doesn't even share content, even though he's great. But one shows up every day and he keeps sharing content about your health, maybe prostate health or sexual reproductive health or mental health. Every day he's sharing one key thing that can help you in that particular area. Who will you trust more? Who will you see as the expert? I'm sure that you'll be thinking that it's the individual that consistently shares knowledge via content on his or her timeline. I'm sure that you think about that. So content sharing will make people to take you as an expert, someone who knows something so well. The second thing that it does is that it elicits trust. So people tend to trust you when they see that you're sharing content from the depth of your heart. They tend to trust you a whole lot. And when you come up and tell people to take certain actions or premeditated actions, they usually take those actions because they've come to trust you as a result of the content that you've been sharing. So rising every blessed day to share content is something that can benefit you and help you to build a massive social media following that will give you money. Trust me, ever since 2011 that I became very, very intentional on social media, I share almost 5 to 10 pieces of content on a daily basis. Someone will say that's a whole lot. I understand it's a whole lot. But I know that the more that I give, the more that I'm expanding my streams that come back and flow towards me. So I hope that you do this. Rise daily, share content, and watch your status grow. I worked in an oil servicing company for 10 years. 10 years of my life. And while I was working there, I was promoted on some occasions to higher levels. And what usually happens is that with higher levels, you have some greater levels of authority and command. While some of my mates who were promoted at the time were using their power to do certain immoral stuff, I decided that I wasn't going to toe the same path. Something happened many years after I left Saipem. So a colleague of mine who worked with me in the company at the time was advising someone who wanted to purchase some plots of land and told her to go to Nobis. That's what they call me. They call me my son in Nobis in many quarters, for the reason that I had been one individual whom he could trust. So the thing is this: my father, when I was growing up, said to me that a good name is more important than riches. That is the value of integrity. And I can tell you for a fact that integrity can lead you so far in building your community on social media. It's the same value system that I want for yourself. Be someone who is true to his word. Nobody will say today that Emeka Nobis collected 1,000 naira or whatever amount of money and did not deliver the value that he proposed to deliver. That is because my value system is based on integrity. And this is the same thing I want you to do. Let your foundation be upon truth. Let people say to themselves that if we buy from you, then you are able to deliver true to your word. Integrity should be your watchword, should be your value system. Take this to heart, practice it, and you see yourself becoming an amazing individual that is famous, that is influential, and that people are willing to pay money to.